We're making Tamil black pepper chicken curry, and this is fragrant, it's aromatic, the chicken just falls apart in your mouth, and there is so much flavor going on. You guys know I love my black pepper, so this is the perfect recipe for that, and it does have a little bit of spice to it, so if you don't like that, you can leave it out, or you can tone it down a little bit to adjust to your preference. Let's jump straight in. Now, starting with our chicken, we've got 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken thigh. Slice this in half lengthways, rotate it 90 degrees, and then cut into thirds. This is going to depend on the size of the thighs, but thirds is usually a safe bet. You can also do it into quarters. And we want to be as consistent as possible because if they're odd sizes, they're going to cook at a different rate. Along with the chicken, we also need 8 cloves of garlic and 15 grams or 0.5 ounces of peeled ginger. Run both of these along a microplane to create pastes. You're going to get the best flavor out of them by doing this, and make sure you scrape it all out of there so we don't have any waste. Add the garlic and ginger paste into the chicken. Add in 1.5 teaspoons or 4 grams of ground turmeric. Add in a decent pinch of salt. Then start mixing this all together. And I don't recommend using your hands here because turmeric stains things and you don't want it all under your nails or anything like that. Once you have something that looks like this, then we can wrap this up, place it in the fridge for a minimum of 1 hour, up to 24 hours. Obviously, the longer the better. And if you really can't wait, you can use it straight away. Now, the next step is to place a small pan over a medium heat. Add in 2 teaspoons of black peppercorns, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds, 1.5 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 1.5 teaspoons of fennel seeds, 4 whole cloves, 1 very small cinnamon stick or a little bit of cassia bark, and 1 small dried red chili. With this over that medium to medium high heat, just lightly toast these for about a minute to a minute and a half, just until they become really nice and fragrant, start to pop and crackle a little bit, and you notice some browning on there too. Toasting seeds like this extracts the best flavor and aromatics out of them, just makes our food taste a little bit better. And if you don't have whole seeds, you can use the ground alternatives. After a minute or two, you start to see nice smoke coming up. Obviously these aren't burning, but there's that really nice fragrance in there. We want to remove these now and then let them cool down. Now with the rest of the prep, we're going to need 1 large and 1 small brown or yellow onion. Take off the tip, leave the root intact, slice it in half and then peel it. Make medium to large size slices across, stopping at the root. Do the horizontal slice if you like to do that. Then rotate it 90 degrees and dice into medium to large size pieces, trimming off any excess flesh from around that root just so we don't have any waste. And you're looking for something that looks like this. Next, we need 3 to 4 medium to large size tomatoes. These were on the smaller side, so I decided to add a 4th. Slice these into thick strips, stack those strips up, then slice into battens, rotate 90 degrees and dice into large pieces. Make sure you go through, trim it all up. If you don't want to use this, you can use crushed or tinned tomato, and I'll have details about that in the description. In these 2 bowls, I have coriander or cilantro, 10 grams in one and 5 grams in the other, 15 grams in total or 0.5 ounces. All we're doing with this is roughly chopping it, making sure there's no large leaves or stems. And this is going to be used to finish the curry, and then the other smaller amount is going to be for our rice. Of course, if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. Last but not least, I've got 2 long green chilies. Don't have to use these again if you don't like the heat. And all I'm doing with these is taking that stem off and then slicing them in half lengthways. You can also de-seed them as well as removing that pith, but I'm just going to leave it all in. The next step is to grind our spices. You can either use a spice grinder or a mortar and pestle, and because I like to make my life a little bit easier, I am going to be using the spice grinder. Let's then add the spices in. Also adding in 1.5 teaspoons or 3 grams of poppy seeds. Then blend this up on a high speed, just until it's a nice fine powder. Everything's completely broken down. And it's exactly the same process with the mortar and pestle. Just use a little bit of elbow grease, get in there and grind it all down thoroughly. Now there is something I just want to quickly clear up as well, because every time I make a curry, there's someone in the comments saying, that's not a curry because there's no curry powder in it, which I'm assuming you're talking about this curry powder, which of course you can use in a curry, but it's heavy on turmeric and it has a very strong flavor. Curry is simply a mix of spices made with a gravy, which we're going to be making in a minute. And I've just made my own curry powder exactly like this one. Of course you can use this, but I'd use this more of a seasoning for something like curried eggs or curried sausages, but that choice is all yours. To get this cooking, place a large high-rimmed pan or pot over a medium heat. Add in 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Then add in about 8 to 12 dried curry leaves. If you don't have these, you don't have to worry about them, but they do add a really nice fragrance to our curry. Fry them off for about a minute, just until they start to sizzle. Then add in all of that diced onion, along with a nice big pinch of salt. Mix that all through, and we're going to saute this or fry it off for about 10 to 12 minutes until you have that really nice caramelization and the onions are golden brown.
Next to go in is the halved chilies. Just continue mixing this through and fry off for about a minute to soften them up. We're not cooking them all the way down right now. Then we can add in all of the tomatoes. Make sure you scrape the bowl to avoid any waste and hit it up with a nice big pinch of salt. At this point we can increase the heat to medium-high and then give everything a really good mix round. We're going to cook this for about 8 to 10 minutes now until those tomatoes have broken down, and during this process you can use the back of the spoon to slightly squash them. If using canned, diced or crushed tomatoes, it's the same process and the same time. Add in all of that chicken that's been marinated in the garlic and ginger and the turmeric. Scrape the bowl down as well so we avoid any waste, and mix this all together. Just make sure it's not clumped up and sitting on top of one another. And we're going to cook this for about 5 to 6 minutes to get some flavour into the chicken and also pick up some of that flavour left in the pan. Add in all of the curry powder that we made before, mix it all through, toast this for about 1 minute. This will get a really nice aromatic flavour going. Just make sure you don't let it stick to the bottom of the pan because it can burn quite easily. Then deglaze with 1.5 cups or 375 milliliters of chicken or vegetable stock, or even water, but the stocks have more flavour. This is going to pick up any remaining stuck pieces at the bottom of the pan. Mix it all through really well for those flavours to become friends, and then bring this up to a simmer. In the process, also add in a touch more salt as well as some cracked black pepper, 15 cracks worth. Once again, mix that all through, make sure everything's combined, bring this up to a simmer, and then when it is at a simmer, place on a lid, reduce the heat to low, and we're going to cook this for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Now the rice that we're doing for this recipe is out of my cookbook, a nice simple coriander or cilantro rice. It's delicious, it's easy to make, and for a limited time, my cookbook is offering free shipping due to Black Friday coming up, and it's only available at cookdinehost.com. I'll leave a link in the description as well as in the comments. Go grab a copy. Like I said, free shipping due to Black Friday, and it is the best way to support me.
For the rice, place a saucepan onto your stovetop, add in 2 cups of washed basmati rice and 4 cups of cold water. You can also use stock here for extra flavour. I'm also adding in 3 bay leaves, 1 star anise and 3 cardamom pods, and a little bit of salt to taste. Mix that all through to prevent any clumps. Bring this up to a boil over a high heat. Then when it is at a boil, reduce the heat to low, place it on a lid and cook this for 12 minutes undisturbed. After 12 minutes, turn it off the heat but leave the lid on for a final 4 minutes, then remove that lid, remove the aromatics if you chose to use them. 2 of the bay leaves decided to go right deep in the bottom of the saucepan, so we'll worry about that later. Add in the 5 grams or 0.2 ounces of coriander or cilantro if you'd like to use it. Then use a spatula or a fork and start fluffing up the rice, and at the same time mix that coriander or cilantro through as well, making sure everything's evenly combined. You should have something that looks like this. Now going back to our curry, carefully remove the lid, just be careful of any escaping steam. We can add in the remaining coriander or cilantro to this. Again, if you don't like it, don't use it. Mix that all through and double check for seasoning, adjusting if necessary. And at this point, it's completely done, so we can turn it off the heat. Now this recipe will easily serve 4 people, possibly 5 and even 6, depending on portion sizes. I just like to make my portion sizes a little bit too big. Place the rice down on one side, and as you can see, there's the hidden bay leaves. Put the curry down on the other. I like to use about 2 ladles worth. I like to serve this with toasted naan. You can also use poppadoms as well, and then I'm garnishing it with a little bit more coriander or cilantro, which is of course optional. And what that leaves us is this Tamil black pepper chicken curry. It looks incredible, it smells incredible, and I cannot wait for you to try it yourself.
With everything said and done, there is only one thing left to do, and that is of course, we can then dig in. The flavour in that gravy is absolutely incredible. There's so much fragrance and aromatics going on, and then the chicken just falls apart and melts in your mouth. There is a little hint of spice on the palate, but it's not overpowering. It is actually a perfect amount for me, that is. Of course, adjust it to your preference. Start off small, then add more if you like. This is a beautiful blend of flavours, and I do recommend you try it yourself. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, leave a comment for the algorithm, and subscribe along with hitting the bell notification next to it so you don't miss when I upload. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.